If you've seen Doom from 2005, starring Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, as he went by back then, and Karl Urban, you might recognize this. This is the hero prop knife carried by the character Destroyer. Here's the COA, and here's Destroyer. I will not begin to try to pronounce his name. It more than likely is not going to be right, so I'll let you do that yourself. So in the movie, when he's battling a Hell Knight, he falls into a pit and this monster is fighting him. It's basically a mutated human, one of the larger demons they call it in the movie he's fighting. He is unarmed at this point except for the knife. He pulls the knife out, stabs him in the shoulder. I don't want to give anything away, but doesn't really help him a whole lot. So this is actually a real knife. It's a Puma Tac 1 made in Germany. The markings were scrubbed for the production, but you can kind of make out where the letters were. The Puma sort of on the left a little bit. Hard to focus. Caught my eye when I first reviewed the knife after I got it from London. They shipped it from London to the US in about 3 days. I cannot believe it. It was bad weather too, but they did. It's still dirty from the production. A good rule is you never clean production items. More than likely this happened on set. This is a hero knife, and what that means is it's for close-ups, and when the actor actually uses it where you can see it in film very close, it's not the... Sometimes they make resin copies of these for prop weapons, or if they're throwing it around. This one's a hero knife. It's an actual knife. Plastic grips, stainless steel blade. Other side is pretty much just flat. It's not the best knife in the world from what I understand, but it was really not intended to be used. At least, well, in this case it was for the movie, but this is more of a, I'm going to look really cool knife, but not necessarily perform. The edges on this knife were dulled for the production. And from what I understand, I don't know if this is true, but that little peak up there is meant to be they said it was a bone splitter. Don't know how true that is, but that's what I've heard. So pretty interesting knife. It looks the part. Science fiction film. Looks really cool. Some people say it's a pretty decent knife. I've never used it outside of a display, of course. I would never use this anyway because it's a film prop. Used in a theatrical production, so I'm not going to be using it. I keep it in the shadow box. Normally it's inside. I did a little cleaning up on this, so I didn't want to do it with the knife inside. But yeah, it's a pretty decent display all around. Pretty cool prop. It was about $300. Not terrible for a hero prop. In the movie, you can barely see it. You show him, or you can see the character pulling it out of his holster and then stabbing the creature in the shoulder, and that's pretty much it. But it's pretty cool to have a screen-used prop from a movie that I enjoy. A lot of people didn't like the movie because it was not anything like the video game, or I should say loosely based on the video game. There is a remake coming out straight to video later in 2019 this year. So we'll see what that one's going to be like. Apparently, they're actually going to have hell in the new movie, and they didn't have that in the old movie because they didn't want to offend viewers, which is kind of ridiculous. It's an R-rated movie. Really not going to offend anyone in there too much. When you're watching a video game movie, Doom, you should expect anything. So you shouldn't be offended. But we'll see. We'll see what the new one's like. If you have any other props you'd like to share, I'd love to see them. I know there's a couple other props out there a little cooler. There's the hero weapons. I actually talked to a guy years ago who had the hero Dwayne Johnson rifle and also the Karl Urban's rifle, which were, of course, real rifles that were inside of an enclosure. He just had the enclosures and put airsoft replicas inside because you really can't, or it's difficult to obtain the real weapons that go inside of them. So pretty interesting. Kind of a neat little display item. We'll talk to you later.